Good evening, everybody. It works in the classroom, it works in an audience. What can you say? Thank you so much for coming to this gala. It's a very special evening for a very special cause with some very special people. I'd like to start the evening off. My name is Terry Learman. I'm honored to be the co-chair of this. And Warner Lambert, stand up if you would, please, and take a bow. Where is he over there? Thank you. Warren has been amazingly generous, not just with his financial resources, but with his time and effort in helping the cause of epilepsy. Epilepsy is an illness that affects 1 in 26 people in the United States. Epilepsy comes and goes, and many, many people that we know every day of the week have no idea that they have it. It's a disease that afflicts so many people, over 2 million Americans. But the important thing to think about is we're making progress. There's going to be some terrific announcements made tonight regarding it. And what I'd like to also tell you is, before we get too far into the program, and often people say this till the end, I want to thank the wait staff and all the staff, including Patty Fiorello, the staff of the Epilepsy Foundation, and everybody else, because no matter what happens tonight, they have made this possible. Thank you all of you very, very much. The American with Disabilities Act, 22 years ago. Think of the impact of this act on our lives and the lives of so many people with disabilities. Every time you see a curb cut, every time you see a wider elevator door, every time you see a different elevator, many, many places. And for those of you that travel throughout the world, you miss those things, and you realize how special the American with Disabilities Act has been. And tonight, we are honoring many, many people. Tony Coelho, who really, really got that generated and helped get it started until Congressman Hoyer took it over. Tony Coelho was really the inspiration behind this dinner and what we do and how we do it. He asked me to be involved, and I was honored to be involved. And I think what we're doing this evening is raising money for a cause that makes such a difference in so many people's lives. If you take Parkinson's disease, epilepsy has more people than Parkinson's and autism and other diseases, cerebral palsy combined. It's an illness that we all are working on, that we're all concerned about. And the people really sitting at these tables right now, the time, the patience, the resources you've provided to make this a success. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. I think it's time to begin to eat, drink, and be merry. Thank you. Phil Gattone is our new director, and how could I forget Phil? You got to get your word in. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Phil.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I just want to welcome everybody here, and I also want to thank Terry Learman, our co-chair. Terry, thank you for being here and serving as our MC tonight. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if there was ever a time to come together and celebrate the accomplishments of some wonderful world-changing leaders, this is the night. I hope you know how much my wife Jill and I appreciate everybody being here. I hope you can enjoy your salads as we speak. Don't stop eating, enjoy yourself. But I just want to let you know how much Jill and I appreciate all of you taking time from your schedules to be here in this mission to help people who are fighting epilepsy. I also want to thank Tony Coelho in the room. We only have about a 2-hour and 15-minute program, so I can't thank him for everything he's done because we'd be here for the next few hours. But Tony, thank you. I'd also like to, as Terry did, take a moment and recognize our other co-chair, who you will hear from a little later in the evening, Mr. Warren Lambert, founder and co-chair of Epilepsy Therapy Project and Epilepsy.com, who is also a father of a beautiful child, Sylvie, living with the diagnosis of epilepsy. Warren, your leadership in making this event a success and especially your friendship and your years of commitment to the mission of bringing therapies to families in a time frame that matters is most appreciated. Thank you for being here tonight. Before I go on, some of you may be wondering, why do we have this big open area here? You're going to see fairly soon why we have this open area. We are really blessed and fortunate to have with us a special guest who you will learn about a little bit later. But there's a deliberate reason for that, and we'll get to that shortly. I just want to say that the foundation is a family-led, person and family-focused organization that transforms isolation and fear into support, hope, and inspiration for people with epilepsy living in communities all over the country. I'm proud to work for Dr. Brian Smith, our board chair. Brian, thank you for all of your leadership and your commitment to people with epilepsy, and this board of directors. I'm thankful that I get to work with the wonderful staff at our home office and affiliate leaders, executive directors from across the country, many of whom are here tonight. They really are the engine and the heart of the Epilepsy Foundation. They're there bringing hope to families every day. Together, we share a mission to lead the fight to stop seizures, find a cure, and overcome the challenges created by epilepsy. We lead the effort. In fact, this year, we've led an effort we've surpassed the $50 million mark in epilepsy research, and we are quite proud of that accomplishment. But for the 1 in 26 Americans who will be diagnosed at some point in their lifetime, we know we need to move faster. We need to do more. We need to be more aggressive. And that's what tonight is all about. Your support is going to accelerate our efforts. I just want to share something with you on a personal level. Although I'm new to this leadership position, I'm not new to epilepsy. 21 years ago, my wife and I had the experience every parent remembers forever, the moment we witnessed our child's first seizure. That was a paralyzing fear that started us down the road of trying to find answers for our son, and he started down that road of being very brave. Sadly for us and our son Philip, answers didn't come easy, and when they did come, they weren't the answers we were looking for and the answers we wanted to hear. I just want to say that when we first found Philip in his bedroom, he was blue around his lips. He was staring off to the side in a very blank stare, and he was having a convulsive seizure. And we thought we had lost him. We thought he was gone. And paramedics came, and it took a much longer period of time for the seizure to stop. It was almost an hour before the seizure stopped, and a seizure typically would stop in just a few minutes. But we were so desperate after that experience of being in the hospital and trying to figure out what was going on. But we always had hope. But when we saw our son deteriorating right before our eyes, he started to lose language. We became really a couple in despair. And it was the Epilepsy Foundation Parent Support Group that gave us that inspiration and hope to know that there were answers potentially out there for our son. And we feel very, very lucky that we found the Epilepsy Foundation Support Group and good care for our son. We believe at the foundation that people should not have to be lucky to find good care. And as a network of leaders, we are committed to helping people find the treatments that they need to be seizure-free. And we do that every day. Epilepsy is insidious, and left uncontrolled, it can cause difficulty in functioning, development, and for 50,000 Americans each year, epilepsy takes life itself. 50,000 Americans in the United States die each year from seizure-related causes, including SUDEP, sudden unexplained death in epilepsy. Now, my family's also been touched by breast cancer, and there are more people who pass away from epilepsy-related causes than pass away from breast cancer in the United States. And I believe that breast cancer is a critically important condition and needs and deserves the research dollars that it receives and needs and deserves the awareness that it receives. But I also believe that epilepsy deserves those research dollars and the awareness because it is impacting people just as much as some of the other more prevalently aware conditions. So I just want to say that we are working together with our professional advisory board, our board of directors, our affiliate leaders, to find answers and to find a way to help families get what they need. I want to say one other thing. My wife and I just moved here from Chicago, and when you move from Chicago, several things happen. First of all, you get withdrawal from missing the deep dish pizza. You get withdrawal from listening to really good Chicago jazz, although we have a spectacular band here tonight. And you also lose the, I don't know, for me, it was really tough because my Cubs, who are losing just about every day, I still miss them. I didn't think I would, but I miss them. And Bob Smith and I, who's a member of our board of directors, we went to the Baltimore Orioles game, and they were playing the White Sox, and they beat the White Sox. Then I learned that the Washington Nationals swept the Chicago Cubs in 4 games, and I felt, I felt right at home when that happened. I felt like I was right back in Chicago, so it was great. There's one person from Chicago who has made me feel at home, and that's Judge Alana Diamond Rovner. Judge Rovner was appointed to the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois by President Ronald Reagan in 1984, and to the 7th Circuit United States Court of Appeals by President George H.W. Bush in 1992. Judge Rovner was born in Riga, Latvia, and she was raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She studied law at University of London's King's College and at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. She married Richard Rovner in 1963, and together they have had one very amazing son, Max. Judge Rovner has been awarded many honorary degrees, too many to mention. She's served on many boards and committees, too many to mention. And she is here tonight. And when I was starting out in helping people with epilepsy in Chicago, it was Judge Rovner and her husband Richard who gave me a chance to step forward in leadership at the Epilepsy Foundation in Chicago. And they believed in me and gave me that chance. So I'm extremely thankful for her. And if you would indulge me, I would ask if Judge Alana Rovner, 7th Circuit Court of Appeals Justice, would maybe take just a few minutes to come and address this fine audience. Judge Rovner.
An opportunity to kiss 2 men. Well, how I wish there were a way that I could express to all of you just how privileged I feel to be with you tonight. You see, for almost 47 years, I lived with epilepsy. Not personally, but watching as my late husband, Dick Rovner, fought the battle for his patients and everyone else touched by this unpredictable and stressful, and most of all, still misunderstood condition. I was in a suburban living room in the early 1960s when the Epilepsy Foundation of Greater Chicago was reinvigorated by Dick and a small cadre of concerned parents who desperately wanted a life for their children of joy and opportunity, and who were willing to work and sacrifice so that that dream might become reality. There would be no challenge too difficult for these mothers and fathers to face, and they met their battles head on in what was too often the maelstrom of ignorance that has plagued epilepsy throughout the ages. The myths, the unfair stigma that must be faced. And through the decades, that little living room grew like the little engine that could, grew and triumphed with dedication and, yes, with love driving the engine. And with leaders like my beloved Phil Gattone, who works tireless on behalf of so many who deserve what little they ask, simply a chance to have the life they richly deserve. So please, allow me to thank you for being here, for caring, for helping, for educating, for giving of your time, your talents, to aid in finding a cure and a better future for individuals who live with epilepsy day in, day out. Thank you for honoring the remarkable world changers Yusim Wumi. And above all, thank you for being world changers. Thank you so much.